So a 3-point turn, what is it? Well, it's a U-turn, and it's the type of U-turn that's done in a small area, like turning around in someone's driveway. So first I'm just going to do one in this area here. In general, when you start your 3-point turn, you want to turn wide into the first box. Sometimes it's on the left, sometimes it's on the right, but just make a wide turn. Your goal is to get into the middle of this box. Now that cone in front is way off the middle, but I'm just going to come up in there and get up close to that cone. Depends on the size of your car. If you have a small car, you don't have to get super close to the cone. If you have a big car, you're going to have to get up close to it, and I have a big car, so getting up close to the cone. Now what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're centered in your box, because if you're on the left side or the right side, you're going to hit some cones when you back up. But if you get it in the middle, as close to the middle as you can, that gives the nose of your car room not to hit the cones when you back up. So before you start backing up, you turn the wheels all the way towards the second box. In this case, it happens to be to the right, so I'm going to turn my wheels all the way to the right, put it in reverse, and I'm going to let off my brakes, checking on my mirrors on my sides to make sure I'm not hitting anything or about to hit anything. And then as I back up, I'm going to see this row of cones in front of me, and when it looks like I'm straight or centered down these rows, then I can straighten my wheels back out. And with normal cars, if your wheel is at full lock to do that backing up, then you're going to turn it 1.5 turns and it'll be back at center. Then you can just let off your brakes, and you need to make sure that your car gets all the way inside the second box. So there's some cones on the left side of me. I need to make sure that my whole car is behind the first cone, and I'm all the way in the box. And then I'm going to pull up to the end where the person will be waiting with a clipboard to tell you if you passed or failed. So from this point of view, I know you couldn't see much. So I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to be narrating what I'm doing with different points of view as I go through it. So I'm just going to do a big U-turn. You can see over here, there's the whole box. This is at Cave Creek and Bell. This is a third-party DMV that has a little test area that you can use. As long as no one's out here, you can use this. So I'm just going up next to the box. Here's a nice little trick. If you see the row of cones that makes up the first box, so it's kind of a U shape of cones down there, that box, I'm just going to line up my rear view mirror right with those cones. Then I start turning in. That'll put you close to center. The goal again is not to get too close to these sides, just get in the middle. I'm going to pull up close. Now what I got to do is look at my mirrors. I need to see the distance between that cone, distance between that cone. It looks like about 4 feet on each side, and I'm about 1 or 2 feet away from the front. Now I'm going to put my car in reverse, go all the way to the side, not going to start backing up until that wheel's already turned. And as I back up, I'm just watching to make sure I'm not hitting anything. I'm still pretty far away from stuff. It looks like it's close just because of the angle of the camera, but it's nice and clear. I'm just going to keep my wheel how it is, leave it alone until it's nice and parallel. Then when I'm nice and parallel, I can check, do I have a path to go back? Yep, nice and even and straight. Now I can just straighten out my wheels and back up. And then there's always going to be a cone that the whole car has to be behind. You have to be all the way behind that cone. And there's a second one. In most cases, with most cars, when the second one is right at your shoulder, then your whole car should be in the box. And again, the whole car has to be behind the line from this cone to that cone, all the way in the box on each turn. So when you go in the first box, you got to be all the way inside, the second box all the way inside, and then you stop up here in the third box, and the person will come up to your window and tell you how you did. So if you have a really small car, this will be easier. If you have a big car or a truck, borrow another small car from someone else. If you feel like you want to try with a big vehicle, 2 things might help. Definitely make sure you get centered in the first box, and sometimes with even really big vehicles, sometimes you can go a little bit to the right in that first box if it's a left-hand side 3-point turn. So if you're going to Surprise or Glendale or Surprise or Glendale on the left side, Mesa and Avondale are going to be on the right hand side. So in that one, if you had a really big vehicle, try to tuck in a little bit to the left. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but just experiment with different positions in that lane. For most cars, you want to be in the center of the first box. If your car is real big, you got to scoot up tight to the end of it. If your car is real small, just make sure your whole car is in there. And then before you start reversing, make sure you have the wheels turned all the way, and try not to mess with it when it's going back. Your brain's going to go like, ah, and freak out and make you want to turn not hit cones, but as long as you get in center, you won't hit any cones. So you just don't want to straighten it out until your car is nice and straight at the end, and that should do it. Please leave a comment below if there's any kind of thing that wasn't clear enough on that. Maybe I can improve it. But yeah, thank you for watching and good luck.